here to share a bit about my journey about how I've translated my research on this critically endangered parrot into a payload for a drone and the creation of my business called Wildlife Drones. As an ecologist, I've spent many years studying this small bird, and I was tasked with the job of figuring out where it went, what it did and what it needed. I've shed new light on this nectivorous parrot. It needs winter flowering trees throughout New South Wales, and it migrates up from Tasmania. And before that we didn't know where it went, and now we know there's some critical drought refuge habitat that they need. They'll migrate 1,000 kilometres further north up near Sydney or near the Central Coast in order to winter there when conditions are not good. So now we know a lot more about this bird, about where it goes and what it needs. But what we don't know is how it gets there, how it moves across the landscape. And when you're trying to manage a threatened species, that's a big problem. It's a big part of their life cycle you don't know about. People have previously tried to track these birds and found it impossible. They put a tag on it, which is a massive achievement in itself, and then it just flies away and they never find it again. And I thought there has to be a better way. But this problem is not isolated to this bird. It really is something that people are doing all over the world to understand animal movements. And it's really labour intensive, time consuming and expensive to do. And people will go to extreme lengths to walk around picking up the ping of a distant animal tag. And this is the size of the tags we're talking about that we're tracking. They weigh between 1 and 2 grams typically, but they can be any size. We really had to find a new way of searching areas much more efficiently. So I came up with the idea of using a drone to do the hard work for us. So after gathering together a group of partners and applying for funding multiple times and not getting it, we finally secured some funding and spent 4 years or so developing the world's first radio tracking drone. We did hundreds of flights, and every time you changed one thing you had to test it again and again. And that was fantastic. We're ready to go and track some birds. But just as we were ready to go into the woodlands and track the birds, we discovered from our captive trials that we couldn't attach the tag to the bird. It's so endangered, and the harness that we were using was a risk of entanglement. And so we couldn't actually attach the tag. So then we had to shift and go, right, well, we have the tech and we want to demonstrate it. So with the new round of ethics applications and license applications, we switched to noisy miners, which are local bird, common bird, and we thought, right, we'll do that. So we did a demonstration with the noisy miner, and we were able to show that when launching our drone, we could pick up that complex radio signal information and translate that into a location on a map without having to go anywhere near the bird. So that was fantastic, and we got a lot of media coverage around that. And that generated global interest in this system. I was inundated with people from all over the world wanting to get their hands on one of these things, ranging from tracking kakapos on the island of New Zealand to pangolins in Asia through to gorillas in Congo. So I was like, right, well, okay, that's pretty exciting. But unfortunately, when we did our last demonstration, we also highlighted all of these major limitations that we didn't know about before. We did the testing here in Canberra, and Black Mountain Tower stopped us in our tracks. I hate that tower. Well, I did. I did hate that tower, but now not so much, because we knew what we needed to do. Basically, it's a massive radio interferer, and we couldn't pick up the signal. So I ran around and decided to educate myself on what it takes to take a piece of technology from my research and translate it into a business idea. We participated in innovation programs, we won grants, and it's been fantastic, and I managed to get a fantastic team around me. All of these people are volunteering for me and have made an amazing contribution and make this dream become a reality. Furthermore, we've actually been able to go full circle with the Swift Parrot. I kept working away on attachment, and we've now come up with a new attachment method. And just this week I've come back from tracking this endangered bird out near Gundagai. I've got a site out there. I caught the birds and we tracked them with our new system for the first time. And after this I'm heading back out there to track them again. And then We're also, the nice thing to conclude,